Hey guys, so I know I'm gone today, but I just wanted to walk you through your Apple Galette lab. You should have went ahead and done your objective and your bell work in your blue workbook. So please make sure that you have that filled out so that you get participation points for today. So in the Apple Galette, it is broken up into 4 different parts, just like your Angel Food Cake Lab was. The first person in your group is going to do the pie crust. You're using the exact same recipe that you used when we did the pie crust experiment on Monday, except for everyone is using the same fat. So we're all going to use butter to do that. Your pie crust people are the first people that get to grab their ingredients. So when after you're done filling out your lab sheets and you get back there, make sure that the pie crust people get started first, and then everyone else can start grabbing ingredients. And we'll kind of go through that and walk it in order, but let them go ahead and grab their butter and stuff and start getting ready. Pie crust people, you are using, like I said, the same recipe from Monday. It's hanging up in the kitchen. You're going to use butter for your fat. It's already cut up into chunks. I did your 3/4 or your 6 ounces or 6 tablespoons, and it's on the white cutting board and it's in the refrigerator. So just grab a chunk of butter from there. It should be 3 ounces, 6 tablespoons, and you should be able to use that. Then as you are going to cut that into your flour mixture using your pastry blender, just like what we did on Monday, add cold water, and again, your cold water is going to come out of the tap. Go ahead and put some water in a liquid measuring cup, add some ice cubes like what we did on Monday. You're going to add that water, make a ball of dough, and then roll that ball between 2 sheets of parchment paper. Your ball of dough should be 12 to 14 inches across. So you want to make it very big. It should be at least the width of your parchment paper. Once you do that, you're going to take off the top sheet of parchment, put a clean sheet on, and then flip it over onto your baking sheet. You're going to bake your dough on the clean sheet of parchment. If you leave it on the piece that you were rolling out on, sometimes it'll stick and it'll burn or whatever. So just make sure you're baking on clean parchment today, okay? Persons 2 and 3, you are doing the apples and the filling. So once the pie crust people get all their ingredients and get out of the way, you guys can get started. Your recipe says that you're using 2 apples. You are not. You're using 1.5 apples. 2 apples is just too many and it won't all fit. So use 1.5 apples. So here's what I want you to do. Group 1, you'll grab 2 apples and you'll share half of an apple with group 2. Group 3, you'll do the same. So group 3 will grab 2 apples, they'll cut one in half, and they'll share their other half with group 4. And same with group 5. You'll grab 2 apples, split an apple with group 6. Groups 2, 4, and 6, just grab 1 apple and then get your other half of your apple from the other group, okay? So everybody gets 1.5 apples today. You're going to peel your apple using the vegetable peelers that we have out on the counter. Please do this over a bowl. Don't do it over the trash can because it gets wet or slippery, and sometimes you'll lose it. It'll bobble in your hands and it'll end up going in the trash. Then we'll lose an apple. So just peel it over a bowl and using the peeler, and then dispose the apple peelings into the trash so we don't lose any apples, okay? Then you're going to use the apple wedger, just slice down, core it, make sure you get all the seeds out, and it'll cut the apple into 8 wedges. And then take the little paring knives that are there on the counter too, and you're going to slice those apple wedges into smaller sections so that they'll be nice and even for them. Again, make sure that they're all the same size so that they all bake evenly, but try to make those nice thin slices. While someone's doing that with the apples, someone else can be working on the filling for the apples. So that's going to be some sugar, some flour, some cake crumbs, all of that. Go ahead and measure all that out and put that in a big bowl. And then when you're done with the apples and you've washed them and everything's good, then you can add your apples to your filling, toss those together, coat everything. The cake crumbs I've already measured out for the hour. You still need to measure your 2 tablespoons out and put them in with your apple filling, but they are in a plastic bag, and make sure you grab the bag that's labeled for your hour. So if it's 2nd hour, grab the 2nd hour bag. If it's 4th hour, grab the 4th hour bag, okay? And make sure that you measure correctly because there's only enough cake crumbs for everyone. So make sure that you don't take any extras, okay? Oh, make sure you wash your apples before you start to and take the stickers and stuff off. Okay, so that was persons 2 and 3. Person 4, you're in charge of strudel. You should not be gathering ingredients until everyone else has gotten their stuff. You're kind of the last person. You're bringing up the rear. So make sure that everyone else is done getting ingredients and then you can get started. But while you're waiting for everyone else to grab their stuff and get ready, go ahead and preheat the oven. Grab a pan and a fresh sheet of parchment paper for your group. You can go ahead and run the hot soapy dishwater, grab your towel and your washcloth and all that, and kind of get stuff set up so that everyone else can go ahead and get started working. Once everyone else is out of the way and have gotten their ingredients, you can go ahead and measure all of your ingredients for strudel. Your recipe calls for butter. You're not going to use butter today, though. You're going to use 2 tablespoons of margarine, and that's located on the green cutting board in the refrigerator. Again, you're using margarine, not butter, and it's on the green cutting board. Your recipe also says that your butter and or margarine that you're using should be softened. Since you're using margarine, it's already soft, even though if it's coming out of the fridge. So all you need to do is just cut the margarine up using a fork or a pastry blender, and you're going to cut it into the sugar cinnamon that you're working with, okay? Don't overmix it, otherwise it'll start to get, it'll start to melt a little bit and it'll get kind of sludgy. You don't want it to be like that. You want it to be nice crumbles. So don't microwave anything. Just kind of cut it up into that. You definitely don't want it to be melted. You just want to pull it out, cut it together, and then you're going to crumble it. Strudel people, what you're going to do when you start putting things together is the crust should be on the pan, on the clean parchment paper. You guys are going to take your apples and to kind of put those, you watched the video the other day, put your apples there right in the center. Leave about 2 inches of space around the outside edge of the apple galette. And then the strudel people are going to top with the streusel. Okay, so go ahead and put that on there. Try to keep the streusel inside the galette or on the kind of the pie mixture. If you get a bunch of strudel outside on that parchment paper, it's just made of sugar and fat, and so it's going to burn really easy. So make sure that you keep everything kind of on top of the galette there. Then you're going to fold up the edges, and this bakes at 400 degrees for 35 to 40 minutes. The crust should be golden brown. You're going to cut using your pizza cutter. Cut it into 3s or 4s, however many people are in your group. You're using the same groups that you use for cakes if you'd like to. Just try to make sure that they're all even so you have the same number of people. When you're done, go ahead and make sure everything's cleaned, sanitized, put away. Dirty laundry goes in the laundry basket. You guys know how it works. And you can grab a plate. There's also plastic wrap back on the counter. I left forks out for you too. Keep in mind, though, that this has to bake for 35 to 40 minutes, so everything needs to be in the oven within the first, 40 minutes of class. So you need to make sure that you're hurrying and definitely getting it put together, especially since I've just taken up 10 minutes of your time. Okay, so hopefully you guys will do great. Definitely make sure you take pictures. If you want to tweet them out, that would be awesome. I'd love to see everything you've done today. Hopefully you guys do a great job. So have fun, enjoy. Also make sure that your lab plans are finished and filled out. Everything that is in these boxes for each of those people need to be in the boxes on your lab plans. So make sure you get those done. Have a great day, guys.